She only has 16 attempts, but she's virtually unstoppable.
And Bryn Kehoe will serve for Stanford here in Game 3. Over the net point, Stanford. You talked about the strength of schedule for the Cardinal. They had the toughest schedule in the nation, facing 15 of the top 15 teams in the nation. They beat 13 of them. They were the only team to do so. That's got to help you come NCAA tournament time. Barbosa.
I wonder, though, UCLA had a little time to cool off. They played so well those first 2 games. I'm wondering if they're going to be able to come out with the same intensity. Barbosa certainly is. She picks up right where she left off, helping Stanford win that second game.
Now Stanford starting to get in the thick of things. Katie Mills. She had back surgery early in the year, missed about 3 weeks of the season, played sporadically, but once the Pac-10 kicked in, she was in full force.
And they were happy to have her. She graduated high school early, came and trained in the springtime, made some good progress before having to have that back surgery.
Kleinman with the tap. Oh, nice by Fine, but McGraw just can't catch up to it.
Fine has really been coming up with some tremendous defensive plays. She comes up with one there that wasn't quite playable, but we saw her in Game 2 digging in and taking a couple of Barbosa's toughest shots.
Barbosa.
And Mills hitting at a nice spot on the court. Middle hitters sometimes have a tendency to try to hit too down sharply, but you avoid the block by trying to hit it really deep into the corner. That's her second kill in a row, hitting into that deep corner there.
There's Fine. And Fine with the great serve.
And that's exactly what Coach Banikowski was talking about. We need to pick our intensity back up on the serve like we had in Game 1, and that's what he wants out of Fine and all the other Bruins.
You gotta love the confidence of Andy Banikowski. He's won 6 national titles. A couple in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. The only time he hasn't is in the 2000s. And UCLA, if they can beat Stanford here, that has got to be a confidence builder going into the semis.
And they had a great season last season, returning to the NCAA semifinals, first time in 12 years.
Kehoe, Akinradawo. McGraw. Barbosa on the back. Akinradawo, they'll set up McGraw. Oh, talk about a nice roll.
She had nowhere to go, really. The ball was a little close, a little outside, so she does the roll shot there and just falls between 3 Stanford Cardinal players.
UCLA was 6th in the Pac-10 in hitting percentage. They've been known for their defense. Couldn't do something there. Point Cardinal.
Well, you can see Kleinman and Barbosa, when they come barreling in to hit that rip set, the Bruins are not adjusting and forcing them to hit down the line once in a while. They're leaving too much angle still on that. Kleinman and Barbosa can hit it down so sharply.
There's the dump by Kehoe. You talked about it. McGraw. The dig by Kleinman. She does it all. Akinradawo wins that battle with Spicer.
She read that perfectly, Akinradawo did. She knows that occasionally Spicer will actually jump and hit with the right hand. Akinradawo read it right that time. Sometimes, though, Spicer won't swing at it and do that kind of a set, the back set.
They are defending Johnson a little bit better. Johnson again. This time she gets it.
And that's not easy to out-quick Akinradawo, but she does it. Johnson does on that play.
We're at Maples Pavilion for the Stanford Regional on the campus of Stanford University. NCAA Volleyball Regional Finals. Tracy Warren along with Karch Karai as top seed Stanford taking on UCLA. UCLA took game 1, 30-28. Stanford took game 2, 30-28. And Stanford now leads in game 3, 7-5.
That was a great adjustment by Kleinman there. 3 blockers up. The only thing she had open was the line. Great hitters will respond and take what's given to them.
And how about Spicer giving the Cardinal a little bit of what they're giving her?
Oh, yeah. Well, when she reaches up with one hand, whether it's the left or the right, you know a dump is coming. Barboza couldn't get her right hand far enough across the net to stop it.
Spicer has 6 siblings. That's basically a whole volleyball team. And she says, we all play sports. In fact, a couple played Division I volleyball in addition to Nellie Spicer.
But she's the only setter. That would be quite an offense there to run Team Spicer.
In fact, 4 of 7 kids played volleyball in college. She is from Barrington, Illinois, 3-time all Pac-10 first team. And she said, you know, I'm so used to talking to my siblings, I make a great communicator on my team. Kehoe with the back sets. And you couldn't stop that from Gerard.
Gerard has actually, she got pulled a little bit in the second game. Pretty slow start for her. Just getting to hitting 0 now. 4 kills, but 4 errors out of 15 attempts. I'm sure Kehoe wants to get her going. It'll make more trouble for the Bruin block.
Yeah, Stanford really quick work of Cal Poly yesterday. They swept them 3-0. Cal Poly said, we don't know what hit us. But do you think that was to the Cardinals' disadvantage?
It may have been. They have not been challenged since 2 weeks ago, really. There comes another dump from Kehoe.
Beat Sac State, beat Santa Clara, and then Cal Poly. They swept all of those teams. And UCLA is really giving them a run for their #1 seed. Allie Daly.
Cal, as I was saying, challenged Stanford 2 weeks ago. Probably should have beaten them here in their final Pac-10 contest, up 13-11 in game 5. That gave Cal a lot of momentum. Cal playing to its first ever NCAA national semifinal, beating Nebraska, the defending champion, 3-0 earlier today.
Another conference between the referees. You know the stakes are high when the refs start to confer that much during a match.
Trying to figure out what they're talking about here. I don't know if they feel it should be a different Bruin server, that they're out of rotation. Evidently, Spicer's the server.
And it is Nellie Spicer. Skying by Gerard. Daly. Spicer, great court awareness. Barboza, and Fine can't dig that. There is just too much firepower on that.
Well, Spicer trying to catch the Stanford team off guard by putting it right back over on that contact. Stanford is too good a team to allow that to happen. Spicer would be better off, better served actually, letting her hitter do the offensive work.
Daly, now she's starting to catch fire. Tops on the team in kills, better than 3 per game.
And hitting almost 300 last night after hitting below 100 3 of the previous 6 matches.
Back set, that's Waller. Just when you forget about Erin Waller, the junior, she comes out of the right side and just puts it away.
And she's close to leading her team in kills with number 11 there, I think, 11 or 12. Really tough to focus on all those weapons.
Waller does have 11. In fact, 3 Cardinal are in double-figure kills. Spicer. Kleinman, nice dig by Spicer. Mills. Oh, nice save by Daly.
Oh.
What a great point. That goes to the Cardinal. Sather thought she had it.
Spicer coming up huge with some defensive plays, but Stanford showing great patience, setting a nice block, challenging Sather to hit down the line. She misses it.
Barbosa with the powerful jump serve. Gerard Kleinman. McGraw. Dyson McGraw, honorable mention, all Pac-10 freshman.
And this time, Gerard leaves just a little space there. Didn't quite get outside enough, especially when a set goes outside the sideline. Those blockers have to be shoulder to shoulder.
McGraw with 6 kills.
Wow.
Oh, Johnson.
The referee has, I think she's gotten a little intimidated. There was a play about 3 plays ago. Nellie Spicer had a very poor touch, but she did not want to call that one. This one was at least as bad there. Bryn Kehoe just shoveling it up. Not a good contact for the All-American setter.
Does it get to a point, much like in basketball, when you're in the final minutes, it's a no call is the best call? Is that the point we're at right now?
No matter what she does now, somebody is going to be furious after missing that one call in game 2.
Kehoe sets up Gerard. Sather.
And the other thing that's so tough is when a referee does a really good job, nobody notices, and they don't get a lot of credit. The only time it really shows up, wow, look at those hands way across the net by Kleinman. But when a referee does a really nice job, it just means that you didn't even notice it. So that's one of the really tough things about refereeing important contests like this quarterfinal match or this regional final here in Maples Pavilion.
Point Cardinal. So now the Cardinal trying to distance themselves in game 3. They lead 14-12. We're tied at a game apiece. Stanford, the #1 seed overall in the NCAA tournament. The first time since the field went to 64 teams back in 1998. We said, hey, what about Nebraska? And they said, no, it's Stanford.
And in fact, the #1 seed doesn't have a great history of going on to win. I think it's only happened 3 out of the last 6 years. But Stanford still in great position after a couple other upsets today, especially defending champion Nebraska.
Yeah, not helping themselves with their serving right now. Akinradewo wins that battle.
Boy, that was such an amazing contact by Akinradewo. The set went to her left shoulder, but she turned it back to her right, seeing that was the only thing open.
Stanford by 2 in game 3. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Volleyball Regional Finals, presented on ESPNU by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We're in game 3, Stanford leading UCLA by 2.
And that last hit I was talking about by Akinradewo, watch, she goes to her left. Johnson thinks she has it completely read. Johnson's thinking, what do I have to do to get a block here? She's blocking the correct direction. Makes my shoulder just hurt to watch that. Turning it way back to her right. Akinradewo, so great. Her vision and seeing the block and what's open, hits it almost every time.
Yeah, Karch, we talked about the defense of UCLA versus the offense of Stanford. And on that one, it's the offense of Stanford that prevailed. Akinradewo, wow!
This is where Kehoe really wants to try and feed Akinradewo as much as possible. Look at how fast she is, up and down, and that ball, nobody has a chance on that. No blocker, no digger.
She's 6'3", but skies like she's 6'7". And then with that speed, both offensively and defensively, she's getting it done.
And this is what I was wondering, if the Cardinal would turn on the afterburners. You put Akinradewo, Player of the Year, Pac-10, next to Kleinman, Freshman of the Year, Pac-10. They make 3 great plays in a row, breaking it open for the Cardinal.
It's kind of like putting Michael Jordan next to Scottie Pippen. Just say goodnight.
Exactly. And they're next to each other in the rotation.